What up? What up? What up? What up? What up, Jay? How you? What up, Royale? What's good, man? How you doing, Queen? Good. Can I sit here? Yeah. Oh, man. Billy Jean for real. When Dana and I, and you know, our brother Jalil, we all of us got together. When we, you know, when y'all taught me about Operation Crew Cut, right? When y'all told me that this program was implicated by the Bloomberg administration, and how it expanded the gang database to 40,000 names, unbeknownst to us, we were being hunted in a sense. You realize that, right? Mm-hmm. When y'all educated me about Operation Crew Count, like for instance, if you came to visit your grandmother and she lived in my building and I was gang affiliated, you don't know me, you don't know that I live in this building, you don't know that I'm gang affiliated, and they stopped and frisked you, which would be highly probable because you're a female of color. Once that transaction happens, that gives them permission to put your name on this gang database unbeknownst to you, and then that gives them permission to survey you.
I mean, you went a little bit, like, that's kind of far. All you gotta do is give him a 5. The police could be watching him, right, sitting on him, and like you said, same instant, he's holding the door for you. All you could have did was hold the door for you. Good looking, bro, gave him a dot. You're now part of you now know him. You're now gang affiliated with him. And all you was doing was coming to see your grandmother. So they don't even gotta stop you. Like, all they could see you doing is wearing a color or be with a certain somebody who they know or things like that. Or you got a certain scar. Like, you see, you can have that scar across your face and they say, like, in jail, like, bloods get $150, right? That's a $150, right? So if you wasn't who you were, let's say you was in the neighborhood with us and things like that, you know what I'm saying, on an everyday, you would probably be labeled as a blood just because you have that scar or just because you got a tattoo or things like that. So you don't even got to stop. You don't even got to know you, honestly.
The movement is called Rebuild the Block. And the way we do that is by educating ourselves. Our youth is showing me the importance of voting and who to vote for, more importantly.
I just got back from Miami. I've been down there.
You in Miami?
No, for work. For work.
All right.
We shooting the season 2 of the Black Market. Remember the Black Market? You ever saw season 1?
Yeah, I watched those of them.
All right, so now we're doing season 2, and the episode that led me to Miami was the scammers episode. Something that happened. I was talking to a gentleman who scammed. We were in the projects in Miami, and a door had slammed right in the room, and I jumped right because it sounded like a boom, and he was like, "Yo, you know, bro, you good here? Chill. You know, everything's gonna be okay. You know, this is not that part of town. This, that, and the third." And 20 minutes later, we were on the floor, because all you heard was pop, 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 pop. It was like right under the window. But it was frightening. I haven't been that close to gunfire in a very long time, and it was extremely frightening. And it's weird because, you know, the basement parties, that was created when I was you guys' age. We created the basement parties, you know, the rubber dub and all that kind of stuff. And I haven't been around gunfire that close in a very long time, and it woke up a lot of trauma in me. I was like, how am I on? You know, I've seen, we all know about it. I've seen in my day, unfortunately, I've seen a few dead bodies, friends of mine that were murdered in front of me, and it just brought me back to a place that I had forgotten about, and it made me feel vulnerable, I guess is the right word. But I don't know, I guess. And the brother who I was interviewing, you know, what was so beautiful about him is while all of us were on the floor ducking bullets, he picked up his gun and stood up and went to the window to protect us. And that was really like profound to me. I just found that to be like, I was like, wow, this dude is ready to put his life on the line for us strangers in his room, in this hotel room. And he looked at me and he was like, man, I'm sorry I had to go through that. And I just thought that was so admirable of him to say, you know, but yeah, you know, it just reinforced in me like seeing him and talking to him, because after the cameras are off, he took off his mask, and I got to see this. He's a beautiful brother, you know. I mean, like, obviously he showed me his character, and I found that to be beautiful. But he's actually a aesthetically beautiful brother, and I was like, man, you know, I just don't want to turn on the news and see this man. Something had happened to him. I don't want to see that, you know. And it just reinforced in me how important it is for me to tether myself to my community, to y'all. Y'all give me like hope and inspiration. I never forget one time I was being interviewed, and I forget what the question was about, but the answer for me was, how come I gotta get out of my community, right? Do y'all notice that everything that we are trained and conditioned to do, get an education, get a good job, whatever it is done with the notion of for us to get out of our hood.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
So I was like, why do I have to leave the community that made me who I am? And then what message am I sending to y'all? Like, oh, once you reach a certain tax bracket, you know, you have to other yourself from the hood, from my neighborhood, from our community. And I just thought that was just really whack. Having y'all to come home to a man, y'all be excited to see me as I am excited to see y'all. It makes me feel good. That's like, I need that. I need to know that, you know, y'all know who I am, not from what I do on my job, but who Mike is. You know what I'm saying? And to see how y'all just lit up just now, when I walked in this room, it's like my heart, I was excited. I was rushing to make sure I got here on time because I don't want to waste y'all time. Y'all matter that much to me, so I just have to say that, man. It meant a lot to me. But you know, it's been a lot. You know, y'all have been through a lot.
Well, you know how that goes.
Y'all have been through a lot, man. You know, and out of the, you know, with Corona and everything being shut down and people going crazy and, you know, picking up the guns and killing each other. What y'all did, what we did is come together and make a positive out of a negative. Y'all realize that, right? We made a positive out of a negative. We're creating a movement right now, man. Like, how do y'all feel about that?
I mean, for me, it's like sometimes you got to. It's like it's not even really about how we feel. It's like what has to be done and what got to be done. And right now, I feel like we at the point in our community where we know the problems. We've been a part of the problems. We've been through so much. We've experienced so much. It's like, who else better is it to do the job? And, you know, like you said, us that come from the neighborhood, us that been through it. So for me, it's not really like, you know, I feel good and all that, but for me, it's more like, this got to be done. Like, that, you see how you got your job? This is my job. Like, I was part of that problem, so we got to fix it too. Part of the solution.
It's a part of the solution, right? That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, me personally, I've been, you know, I was down there in Miami with Fat Joe and Rick Ross, and all I could do was talk to him about y'all. No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. All I was doing was talking to him about, listen, we need a crew count in your hood, man. Yo, we taking it, we gotta bring this around the country.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
For real,
I'm serious, but do you know what we're building here? This is gonna be, this model that we built out is gonna be monumental. It's gonna be legacy work that we're doing here, man.
And this is already legacy work. We already built the block. We just now got to change the dynamic of what building the block means.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
get what I'm saying? So it's been legacy. It's been going through our generations. Now we just here to shift that. Let's really build the block. Let's build it up so that we own the block, so that we own our neighborhoods. Let's build the block the correct way so that it affects the community in the right ways, the ways we've been talking about we need to inherit. And let's come do it ourselves. Let us build the block. We are the block, so we going to build it. Yeah. So it's been legacy. We just got to shift the dynamics of what that legacy is.
Shift the dynamics, man. Like, what are the things that you would like to see different in our hood?
Just more resources in general. Like, it's just a lack of resources, and I feel like that's why the community goes in the direction it goes in. Like, it's nobody there to help single parents, so now the parents got to do everything on their own or neglect their child. So I feel like that's where the issues come in
like
at.
mothers working 2 jobs,
Yeah.
right? Stuff like that, just to make ends meet, right? Who's watching the kids, right?
Yep.
More opportunities. What are some of the things you think that we can do on our own without waiting for them to put more opportunities? What are some of the things that we can do for ourselves to create opportunities in our community?
I feel like we have to put the neighbor back in neighborhood. Like, people don't have the relationship with their neighbors that they used to.
You better preach.
So it's like your neighbor's a stranger to you, but you see these people every day. So like, the community is not a community no more because outsiders had came in. So now it's like, okay, I don't know you, but you live in a building. So when I see you, it's still like you're a stranger. So it's no relationships there. There's no community ties within the community anymore.
You know what we used to call that when I was growing up? We called that the village. There's an old saying my mother would always say, it takes a village to raise one child. What's some of the things you would like to see different in the hood, in our community?
For me, I think within our community, something that I would like to see change is the unity, the level of like the unification within our neighborhood, because we always talk about crabs in a barrel, but we don't even understand like how we were put there, and we always, you feel me, like we like to blame everything on a white man, or we try to wait for them, or we put everything in our problems on that system when we already know we're a part of a system, and the system, like, it's been there since we was born and it's built for us not to win. So why do we keep falling the victim when there's other ways to go there's other ways to go around it? So for me, it's just us unifying, coming together and making an actual change. Like, we only come together when somebody's died by the police, but when there's gang violence going on or this going on in the neighborhood, nobody not saying nothing, nobody not stepping up. Y'all only stepping up when is the opposition, but we don't even understand that our first opposition is us within the community, us ourselves.
Now see, that's the money right there. They got us doing that.
They do.
See, that was by
and
design.
that's apartheid.
That was by that's Middle Passage. Well, Middle Passage, you know what I mean, which is the Middle Passage happened right before slavery. We still live trauma from our ancestors from slavery. Like how our inability to communicate with each other, you know what I'm saying? Like to agree to disagree, to be able to have a discussion, that ability to love each other was stripped from us in order to control us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, for me, that's what I was saying. Then they gave me this quote, and it says apartheid, which means to separate and cause them to hate each other.
Yes,
you
sir.
separate them into the ghetto, you give them nothing. Of course, what they
just taught
as
me
soon
that.
as somebody, as soon as one, if all of us right here in the ghetto, we all have nothing, right? And somebody forces it. As soon as one of us acquires something, what's gonna happen? You gonna jump down my back, you gonna jump down my back, you gonna jump down my back. We gonna all be one because we all felt like we was all put here with nothing. So why you get something before I get something? Instead of us breaking it apart, putting some food to the side and sharing it. That's what goes on within our neighborhood.
You just taught me. I've heard, for as long as I've heard the word apartheid, I never actually really knew what it meant until you just taught me that. Thank you for that, brother. Thank you for that. But you know, you also spoke about the system, right? The system, you know, when it was Ava DuVernay, when we were shooting When They See Us and we were doing press for it, I heard Ava DuVernay say something it blew my mind. She said, the system is not broken. It's working perfectly fine.
That's
It is doing exactly what it was designed
That's something
to
I'm
do.
big on. That's why we can't
That's
change
a
it.
fact.
Brielle, tell me how you think Operation Crew Count and what we're doing in the community, tell me how you think that's going to help.
Well,
How did it help
crew
you,
count-
first of all?
Or how crew count helped me? Well, crew count helped me because it really opened my eyes to certain things. Like I didn't fully know the importance of voting. I wasn't really cool with certain police officers. I didn't really go to certain neighborhoods that I wouldn't really parlay in. So crew count actually helped me expand my horizon and been able to do things that I wouldn't normally do. Like the block activation we did in Vanderbilt, I would never go through Vanderbilt, day in my life, never. But that block activation, it was something that was positive, something that we was doing for the community, something we was trying to change the dynamic of the community, you feel me? Bring the peace back to the block. So just doing that, it was like, I felt comfortable enough to actually go over there, be around other people that I know I've never seen before. They ain't never seen me before, but right now we doing something good in the hood. So it was like, it was nothing for me to worry about.
Seeing you, Jeremiah, when you lifted up my little brother, AJ, when you lifted him up, man, and gave him love like that, you don't know what that did for my heart. I was like, look at my little brothers, man. You were there for him, man. Y'all supporting each other. and lift each other up and talking about the importance of voting and learning how to vote. Like, it ain't just important to vote, right? We gotta know how to vote, how to use that vote.
Who we voting for?
How do you see that?
Well, crew count, it educated me a lot about the importance of voting and like different positions that you could vote for, like different elected officials. So you could, like, I didn't know you could vote for certain jobs in the city, throughout the city, like the council members, the DA and stuff like that. I didn't know you could vote for those people. It never really crossed my mind. So learning about like who you could vote for and the importance of voting played a large like role in why I do what I do every day with crew count. And it's just hopeful to know like you could go back to your community, give back to the community, knowing what role of the government impact your community directly.
Yeah, that's what it really is, because you think you're going to vote for a lot of these presidential elections and stuff like that, but then they don't really tell you. It's really like the mayoral election, the borough presidents, like those are the ones that really count. Those are the ones.
I said you call those elections the municipals.
Those is the elections. Those are the people that you can count on to actually help and change and do things for your community. I mean, you thinking about the president. That's
too far gone.
Too far. Yeah, too far. Like
President
the mayor,
too far gone.
The mayor, the mayor, borough president. Yeah, you want to deal with those people right there.
You know, where do y'all see crew count doing? Where would you like to see crew count go?
Everywhere.
Everywhere,
I would
right?
like to see crew count be worldwide.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be everywhere, trying to go to every neighborhood, every state that got
Every country,
yeah,
everything.
you know, we trying to get them educated on what's supposed to be done.
Abolish that. You feel me? Those people that's not there for us.
Yeah,
the police force.
Yes,
no,
sir.
for real. You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying? Things
I ain't
like
wanna
that.
say
Because,
it
like,
loud, but
since I like been with crew count, like, you know me. You know I always been like abolish the police type of person. But you know now getting more into it, I understand that it's a like internal structure that before we even start talking that we going to war with them, we got to get somebody inside. Now we start talking about the mayor because the mayor picks the police commissioner. You get what I'm saying? So he's really the head in command for the whole NYPD, LAP, wherever you at. You get what I'm saying? Your mayor is really in control. So now you got to dig in and dig deeper. That now we talking like we going to war, we want to march, we want to do this, but let's get people in political places to start breaking down these infrastructures and changing it to work for the way we need it to work for us.
But having said that, now we gotta acknowledge that it is not about us warring against the police department, and it's not about really the word abolishing is a strong word that's vague. It's about a reconstruction. Because we need good police, and guess what? You know, we all know that there are good police officers on this force in New York City. Let's shout, you know what I mean? Derby, right?
Derby, Cab,
we know Edwin Raymond, Lieutenant Edwin Raymond, Captain Derby. These are good brothers, man. What's my brother's name?
Yeah, but
you know, but
we gotta get a magnet, get those brothers out of there, and put them in their own force. You get what I'm saying? Because now you gotta understand that the police force that we talking about to reconstruct it, like what you just said that like somewhere like early on, you can't fix something that's not broken. You can't reconstruct, like you can't rebuild something that was never broken. They never broke it down. You know what I'm saying? They're never gonna break down that force. That force is working the way it's been working since it was started hundreds of years ago. You get what I'm saying?
We all know
to chase slaves.
Who knows
and
a slave
you get
in
what
the
I'm
slave
saying?
patrol?
So when
Yes,
you really
sir.
think about it, what are we changing? What are you trying to do? That it works for what it's supposed to work for.
So what would you like to change?
I feel like
what would you like to see change?
so now we got Bevo. You feel me? Now we got
Community-led.
community-led violence interrupters that work for the community. They're not trying to put brothers behind jail. They're trying to prevent all of that. Like before we even get to
Community-led public
there,
safety.
before we
That's
even
what
get
it's
to
called.
there, they want to prevent it. You get what I'm saying? We
the
need
last
prevention artists. These people, they
which
want
is why I am a big advocate for reallocating funds from the
that's a
police
fact.
budget, right?
participate.
We need to put. It would be nice to put a mayor in place who will pick a fair and just police commissioner, and it would be nice to see them put some of that, $8 billion a year budget, put some of that into resources like Bivo, like my Life Camp in Queens, right? People like that.
Like crew count.
Like crew count. That's right, like crew
That's
count.
right.
It'd be nice to see some funds go towards that. We're not saying that, at least I'm not saying that we don't need good policing. We need good
No,
policing.
yeah, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying we don't need good policing. I'm saying NYPD doesn't have to be in charge of that. That's what I'm saying. The community could be. What's the definition of policing? You get what I'm saying? Policing don't got nothing to do with a badge. It don't got nothing to do with the uniform. It don't got nothing. It's about protecting and serving. Exactly what it says on the side of their cars. You get what I'm saying? Protect and serve. And I forgot what the C is for. You get what I'm saying? But you get what I'm saying? This is what
I get
we
what
need.
you're saying.
So policing don't have nothing to do with the NYPD or with us right here. We can do policing. You get what I'm saying? Policing.
Well, we are.
It's not
We
for.
are in the sense
It's not
of
a.
crew
You
count.
know what I'm saying? It's not for the specific somebody, and this is the thing. We give it to them where it could be given to the public, and probably public safety and safety will be generated better in the hands of us.
I know one thing. I am tired of seeing the police department being called for our mental health crisis that we have in our
Yes.
community.
And this is what I mean by lack of resources, because the police don't have to, they part of the problem.
They lack the training.
They lack the training and they cause more trauma. They do more damage. If I'm having a mental problem, why, when I call 911, the police come? They cannot solve my problem. They don't have the resources to help me fix my issue.
It's like calling an electrician for your plumbing problem.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we
Well,
need
do y'all know
other.
that? Well, first
we
of
need
all,
other
911,
city
the
agencies on there.
911 call.
I mean, go to the
is-
EMS.
The 911 dispatch thing is owned by the
NYPD.
NYPD.
Yeah,
that's a
that's
problem.
yeah,
I
we
think
did
that
not
should
just
be
say
a
that, bro.
separate.
Not
That's
even-
a person.
he
That's a
said
problem.
Code,
Yeah, that's
was
a
like,
lot-
yo, we
yeah.
need to take that 911 system
Out of the police
at least
department's
out of the police
hands.
department.
Yeah,
That should be
because-
a separate entity where, and when the calls come in, if you're calling for your mentally ill son, if you're calling for the
police
kids making
should
too
not
much
be
noise in the
showing
hallway, if you're calling for, we could have people. Those calls should be allocated to the proper channels that are designed and trained to handle situation. Not put because in a weird way. I feel sorry. I feel bad for the police.
Yeah, that's
because
what I'm
I
saying.
feel bad for them. They're being asked to. My mother always
They
said,
being asked to
"Never
do-
set a man up to fail."
Yep.
And by putting all of this responsibility in
on
the
the
police
police.
department, we are setting them up to fail. It's a setup.
Back to what I was talking about with the 911 being taken away from the police and the NYPD. That we have that goal. We have that written down in our pledge. That's one thing that we wanted to see change in the community. So we made a pledge for the mayoral candidates that's running for mayor. What we do is that we try to meet with them and we give each of them the pledge, and this is something measurable that we can hold them accountable for, like the steps that they're taking while and before while they're running for office and before they're in office. We made a pledge of things that we can hold them accountable for that we can actually measure, and that was one of the things on it, removing 911.
The 911 system from NYPD. Also, like we was talking about the gang database, like how you could be added, like why this whole thing really started, because Operation Crew Cut. So basically, we purge the gang database, because it's so many people up there that's not actually gang members that got added on because of a scar or the colors that they wear or who they associate themselves with. So that's another thing we added on in the pledge, to change that, because that's the whole problem right there. Why am I being added onto a database by who I associate myself with?
Over policing.
Then you don't even know if you on the database or not.
Yeah, and that's
just
another-
get put
how you
on.
just put me on a database I don't even know about.
And this is why we really formed Crew Count, because Crew Count, it was basically us taunting them, like, don't count us out. Like, you can add how much people you want, but we still, like, we coming strong. Like, no matter what y'all trying to do, like, we here. And the future of, like, young kids, the youth, like, we not taking it no more. You get what I'm saying? Like, enough is enough. We know where we stand. We know what's going on. We see what's going on. And we here to make a change. So that's basically like what Crew Count is. We here to show awareness. We here to show people in our neighborhoods that's how to vote. Everything that's been hidden from us throughout the years that they try to whitewash or wash away from us, we here and we bringing light to it because we need to change in our community.
You know what I love the most about Crew Count is that we are going into the same communities that have been over-policed, and we are reaching out to the same people, the same young people that are being put on these gang databases, and we are educating them, and they are being activated. One of the most beautiful things that I've seen us do with our Operation Build the Block is informing felons that they can vote.
Yeah, that's
Things
a
like
fact.
that make me, that just, it warms my heart. So Y'all tell me, man, what do y'all think is next for We Build the Block?
All right, so the next steps we're taking right now as Crew Count, we're gonna start selling our Crew Count merchandise on the WeBuildTheBlock.org website. So
Tell me, invented by yours.
okay, designed by Royal.
Oh yeah, and we got t-shirts.
Yeah, got t-shirts.
I ain't got mine yet.
I get one for you today, huh?
Okay, bro. I got something for you
one
too,
for
bro.
today.
I got something for you too, bro.
Yes, we're also teaching our curriculum to fellow youth to inform them about the importance of voting, how to vote, and stuff like that. And we hosting block activations and creating petitions to create a change in our neighborhoods and stuff like that. Like, we finally taking a stance of the resources and creating petitions about what we want in our community, what we want it to look like, and activating blocks and changing the dynamics of blocks.
The second one is hands-on. We start teaching them how to register to vote, how to help other people register to vote, things like that.
Make them
The
register
last-
to vote.
Make them register with
Actually register, like they
Yeah,
register
yeah.
right here and things like that. And then the last cohort is we split them up into two groups, a petition group and a block activation. So Royal's in charge of the block. Me and Royal do the block activations. Jalil and Kobe do the petition group. Petition group is they find a policy or something that they want to change or implement, and they do a petition, and at the block activation, they bring it out to get it signed and things like that. And well, you know what the block activation is.
Yeah, man. Jaleel, boy, that's a man,
So
yo.
Jaleel and Kobe, they do the petitions though. So that's mostly them. I think I don't know exactly how much signatures they got last time,
I'm
but
not even sure.
it was a
It
lot
like
though.
3 pages.
It was a lot.
Jalil was moving around.
Yeah,
with
Jalil
that
was moving
clipboard.
around. Jalil was all up and down. He went from Forster, what's that, North Street and back. He
Got
was
him,
there.
right?
I swear he was on North Street. and
Word?
back. He walked all the way down to North Street signing people up and all. Like, yeah, right there by Lucky, all of that. So that's what it is. That's basically what's next. So we trying to take that like all over New York City, basically Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, everywhere. Start
Staten
teaching
Island.
cohorts, everything. Teach
Everywhere.
cohorts, block activations, everywhere. And like get cool. First we got to get it, local around our state, and then we start moving
gotta get
worldwide.
the city.
Worldwide,
Things
baby.
like that.
We build the block worldwide.
Yeah,
Count
for
will
real.
have a-
City by city.
City by city, block by block.
You about to say right
Country
now this
by
Crew
country.
Count NYC.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't know. It's a Crew Count LA, Atlanta.
Crew Count Miami.
Crew count Detroit, crew count Chicago.
Everywhere. Chicago,